Where's your headspace? Welcome to the KC CHIROpulse Podcast. I'm Dr. Michael Perush, and this is my co-host, Dr. Troy Fox. Troy, where's your headspace?
You know, some days my headspace is in a great spot, and other days I really struggle because of my interaction with patients and just the things that we do as doctors every day. So I know today that we're going to talk about Doctor's Retreat, and I think that's such an important and valuable asset to our practices. And
it's huge.
It's immeasurable how much better I feel and how much more ready I am to go back into practice with the tools, not only that I gain, but just really clearing my headspace as well. So
let's talk about where that headspace gets robbed. I mean, it literally gets robbed by so many forces in our practices. It's happening to us on a daily basis, just sucking all the energy out of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Sure.
It's everything from the energy you give up to patients to the extra time, outside of patient care that you have running the business, doing the marketing, training staff. Events like our Doctor's Retreat, which is an event that we put on every year. Everybody loves it. We go to a fabulous resort. We commune for a couple of days in some great conversations, some great camaraderie, and it really gives us a chance to kind of get out of the office, no staff around, bring your spouse, your significant other, whoever, and really have a chance to dive into best practices and regaining that energy so that come Monday, you can jump back on that mouse wheel with fervor and restore that energy back into yourself. Be able to really take care of yourself and your patients along the way.
I think being with like-minded individuals at this Doctor's Retreat we're all there for the same reason is
you hit the nail on the head.
It really creates its own energy when we're there working with each other, and we're all experiencing the same thing. So being like-minded for the outcome or the goal that we want to go back into practice on Monday, and we want to be ready to go. We want to improve our practices and improve our headspace, because this isn't, we're not going to sit around and talk about how to do a new patient exam. That's not what we do at Doctor's Retreat. So you might want to touch a little bit on what we really do talk about at Doctor's Retreat, because it's a unique format that is very special.
We talk about a lot of great things. We talk about how to keep your headspace, how to keep that energy level up. We talk about how to create great incentive programs for you and your staff. We talk about, best practices of what's everybody doing in the practice that's really working. We drill down on all those great things that are working. We take a deep dive into practice success and talk a lot about, what do you do with your success? Troy, you and I've talked about this before, but we talk about this great bell curve of the value of your practice over time. And we talk a lot about how to keep that bell curve flattened out so that you maintain the value of your practice. So that someday when you get down to the end and you want to sell it, I think for most of us, that practice it's kind of like our home. It's an investment. Mm-hmm. And we want it to be worth more than we put into it, right?
Right.
At least that's the hope. And so we talk a lot about how to make that happen. We talk about retirement and transition planning, exit strategies, those kind of things. I mean, there's so many different concepts and topics that we cover. But I want to go back to what you said, because I think you hit the nail on the head. We get together with like-minded people. So every day in your practice, you have to be the expert, you have to be the boss, you have to be the trainer, you have to be the accountant, you have to be the marketing person. And this gives us an opportunity to get together with people who are experiencing the exact same things. And out of that come these amazing ideas. The best part, lifelong friendships come out of it as well, because
most definitely
it gets carried over outside of the retreat and carries over into our mastermind group programs and those kind of things throughout the year. So it's an amazing, amazing weekend of fun, camaraderie, et cetera, et cetera.
And I think we learn from each other when we're at this. I don't care how much you know about practice. You may have the most phenomenal practice in the world.
Right.
But there's always something to be learned. Every time I go to a doctor's retreat, somebody will ask me a question because they feel like that you and I can do no wrong and have never done any wrong. But the truth of the matter is we've learned from our mistakes, and that's why we're able to teach or advise other people on their practices. But the truth of the matter is even when I go to these events, I will be talking to someone else and they'll bring up a point that I'll go, never thought of it that way before. And I'll learn something new while I'm at the retreat. So
Always.
I'm usually furiously writing down notes or giving myself notes, into my phone of things that I need to follow up on and remember. And I may even touch base, because we are making new friends. I may touch base with that doctor afterwards and say, hey, go in a little deeper on this. Let's take a dive into this and let's find out a little bit more, because this could be helpful for a lot of doctors. And I think that kind of individual that is there not only to help their own practice, but is more than willing to help others around them. That's what makes it so much fun for me, because everybody seems so willing to share what they've learned in practice as well.
Yeah. It's truly amazing. And we have some of the top doctors in the country come into this thing, and they're willing to just open up their ideas, their book of ideas. And it's not just good ideas. Sometimes it's we talk about the stuff that, wow, I tried this and it just fell flat on its face, and we'll analyze it together. And why did that happen? And, I know last year we had somebody, they brought an idea that they tried in their practice, and it just turned out terrible, just terrible. And we picked it apart and drilled down on it, and they took that back and turned it around into a huge success. So sometimes it's just rolling our sleeves up and helping each other work through something. And the amount of information and energy that we share at the doctor's retreat is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I don't think that it can be overstated just how much electric energy there is all day. And then into the evening, a lot of times, a large group of us will go to dinner together and we'll talk even more. And it may be about something that we talked about during the day, and we may dig into it deeper. And if it's just a smaller group of us that go to dinner and not everybody got to hear it, we may open the next day talking about that and say, at dinner last night, we talked about this and this. And here are some of the key points that we picked up, and we want to share this with you guys. So
absolutely,
we feed off of everything, not only that we already know, but if we learn something new, we want to share it immediately.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we talk about so many things. We talk about getting your energy back, keeping your energy, how to train staff, how to run your practice, best practices for marketing, new patient acquisition, wealth building. This is a huge one of my favorite topics. We talk about wealth building, creating value in your practice, and you know what? How to find that work-life balance that so many of us struggle with, especially with the advent of electronic health records. Holy cow.
Right.
So now Doctor's Retreat is one of our members only programs. So you do have to be a member to come to it. But I'm telling you, this is one of the greatest parts, in my opinion. This is one of the greatest components, and there's a lot of good ones. This is one of the greatest components of membership in the CATS Consultants Advisory programs. At that mastery level, we dive deep, deep, deep at Doctor's Retreat. And I know you and I have been to stuff like this over the years with other groups. Personally, ours has a very personal touch to it. Has a very personal touch and a very personal tone to it. And that's not just me saying that. I was on a client call just a little while ago today, and a doctor, and you would know him if I said his name, a doctor that I was talking to, he spent the entire time just talking about Doctor's Retreat and how excited he is to get back to Doctor's Retreat this year.
Yeah, we, and sometimes it's, when we talk about it being very personal, somebody may come up to us and say, hey, I've got something really important I need to talk to you about. Do you have time to have lunch with me today?
Yeah.
And we'll step in and we'll have a lunch meeting with someone just to discuss a specific topic that really was one that they maybe could have talked about on the phone, but it was much better one-on-one, face-to-face, to be able to kind of dig through this. And so I love that environment as well, where we do get in very intimate conversations with our clients, because we have that opportunity there. And that's what we're there for. So we really, when we get there, it's not one of those deals where I have a whole lot planned outside of meetings, because I know that we're going to end up talking to somebody in the evening. We're probably going to talk to somebody during the noon hour. We may have lunch with them or whatever. And I think that's an important aspect, that we are very available for our clients during that time.
Absolutely. Well, and that's why we're all there. We're all there to spend this great amount of time together and learn from each other the entire time. So yeah, we don't present a class and then run off to our room or go sightseeing and leave the rest of the group in the meeting room. We're there with everybody all day long. And I know you and I get takeaways. Patrick always says that he gets takeaways. I know Marissa's always in the back writing things down as, everybody's chatting away. And it's good for everybody. It's good for everybody at every level in your practice.
It's a think tank. That's
that's a great way to put it.
It's a think tank with direction, because we obviously have encountered many of these situations before, and we have a framework for what we want you to gather that weekend while we're together. But from a standpoint of how the actual meetings operate, it definitely is a think tank, because we may get to one point and we may spend 30 minutes on it because somebody raises their hand and says, hey, in my practice, blah, blah, blah.
Think tank. I love that.
Yeah.
That's the perfect description of it. Perfect description. Yeah. So if you're a client, you already know about the annual doctor's retreat. This year it's in New Orleans. Super excited about it, because we're staying at a great hotel. We're going to have great sessions during the mornings. We're going to spend the afternoons touring around, having fun. I know Marissa's always got some fun stuff planned for us. I can't wait for the food.
Yeah.
Because the food in New Orleans is absolutely amazing. So, all right, everybody, if you're interested in learning more about the doctor's retreat, give us a call. Find out how you can be a member of CATS Consultants. All you have to do, honestly, is just go to catsconsultants.com. But if you have questions, jump on my calendar. You can do that on the website. Schedule a breakthrough call. Let's talk about what the benefits are of becoming a client and really a family member with CATS Consultants. Mm-hmm. Troy, anything else to add?
No, I'm just excited to get there. I can't wait.
Me too. I can't either. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to the KC CHIROpulse podcast, brought to you by CATS Consultants. We'll see y'all next time.